My friends, there is a truth that has been hidden in plain sight, a truth that no billionaire, no titan of industry, no empire builder will stand on a platform and declare to you. And that truth is this: greatness was never reserved for the wealthy few. Greatness is hidden inside you. The secret is not money. It is not inheritance. It is not even an opportunity. The real secret is vision and discipline, the ability to see what others cannot see and to persist when others walk away. Think of the farmer in a small village who wakes before the sunrise, planting seeds in the soil with calloused hands. He does not have millions. He does not have investors, but he has vision, the vision of harvest. And every day he waters, he works, he waits. That farmer holds the same secret billionaires hold: faith in what is not yet visible. Think of the mother who raises her children with dignity, working 2 jobs, believing that her sacrifice will one day open doors for her sons and daughters. She may not sit on Forbes' list, but she carries wealth the world cannot measure, the wealth of perseverance, of courage, of unshakable love. And think of those who rose from nothing, men and women who history remembers not because they had riches in their pockets, but because they refused to quit on the dream in their heart. The truth, my friends, is that billionaires are not keeping a financial secret from you. They are living out a principle you already possess: ideas or wealth. Discipline is currency, and persistence is power. The question is not, what do they know? The real question is, what are you willing to believe about yourself? The future will not be written by those who wait. It will be written by those who dare. Those who decide today, I will not live small, I will not surrender my vision, I will not bury my potential. Yes, challenges will come. Yes, there will be moments when quitting seems easier than continuing. But remember this: every giant was once a child who refused to stop growing. So I say to you today, don't chase money, chase vision. Don't run after status, run after purpose. Don't envy billionaires. Discover the billion-dollar idea that God has placed in your own heart. Because the secret they will never tell you is this: the greatest investment is not in stocks or real estate. The greatest investment is in you. And when you invest in yourself, when you cultivate discipline, when you commit to vision, when you persevere through storms, you will discover that wealth is not something you chase. Wealth is something you attract by becoming the person capable of handling it. So rise up, shake off fear. Look in the mirror and see more than an employee, more than a struggle, more than a dreamer. See a builder. See a leader, see a person destined for greatness. The secret, my friends, is no longer hidden. It has always been within you. Now it is time to act. My friends, let me tell you something that will challenge the way you see yourself. For far too long, we have been conditioned to believe that greatness belongs only to the elite, the wealthy, the powerful, the ones with connections, or the ones born into privilege. We look at billionaires, at celebrities, at men and women whose names dominate headlines, and we think to ourselves, they must be chosen, they must be special, they must have something we don't. But that is the greatest lie ever sold to humanity. Greatness is not reserved for the wealthy few. Greatness is hidden in every person, and yes, that includes you. Consider this: every human being is born with potential. Not some, not most, but every single one. Potential is the seed of greatness, and it is planted in the soil of your soul before you even take your first breath. Wealth cannot buy it. Status cannot manufacture it. Education alone cannot guarantee it. Potential is divine. It is God's gift to you, but whether that potential becomes reality depends on your willingness to believe in it and your courage to cultivate it. Think of history's greatest innovators, thinkers, and leaders. Many of them did not start with wealth. They started with nothing but vision. They began as ordinary men and women who refused to accept the limitations placed upon them. The Wright brothers were not billionaires. They were bicycle mechanics. But inside them was a vision of human flight that transformed transportation forever. Mother Teresa had no fortune, but she carried the wealth of compassion that shook the world. Nelson Mandela did not begin with political power, yet his belief in justice ignited a movement that changed a nation. Their greatness was not purchased, it was discovered. The tragedy of life is not that we are born with too little. The tragedy is that most people die with their greatness still locked inside them. They live small, they think small, they act small because somewhere along the way they bought into the lie that greatness was reserved for someone else. They allowed fear, doubt, and comparison to bury their potential in the ground. But hear me, greatness is not in the bank account. It is not in the cars. It is not in the houses. Those are byproducts, not definitions. Greatness is in the courage to dream when others laugh at you. It is in the discipline to rise every morning and take one more step towards your vision, even when no one applauds. Greatness is in the single mother working 2 jobs. shaping her children with values and faith, believing their future will outshine her struggle. Greatness is in the student who studies late into the night, not because anyone expects it, but because they know within themselves that education will unlock doors their family never walked through. Greatness is in the immigrant who arrives in a foreign land with nothing but determination, who builds brick by brick, sacrifice by sacrifice, until opportunity finally bows its head to resilience. This is the secret that billionaires won't tell you, not because they are hiding it, but because society has conditioned us to overlook it. They are not extraordinary because they have money. They are extraordinary because they discovered and pursued the greatness that was already within them. The wealth came later. The real difference between the one who succeeds and the one who does not is not intelligence, not background, not privilege. It is belief. It is the conviction that inside of me, inside of you, there is more than what the world sees right now. There is a treasure buried beneath your fear. There is a seed planted beneath your excuses. There is greatness waiting to be watered with courage and persistence. Every time you tell yourself, I can't, I'm not enough, I don't have what it takes, you are burying that seed deeper. But every time you tell yourself, I will, I must, I was born for this, you are drawing water from the well of faith that awakens greatness. My friends, hear me well. The wealthy are not keepers of greatness. The powerful are not owners of destiny. They are only examples that prove what is possible when vision is pursued with persistence. And if it is possible for them, it is possible for you. My friends, let me tell you something that will change the way you understand success. We live in a world where people chase shortcuts, where everyone is looking for the next quick way to riches, the next trend, the next formula. But the truth is, success has never been built on shortcuts. Success has never been built on chance. The foundation of every lasting success is vision and discipline. These two are the pillars, the anchors, the unseen forces that separate those who drift through life from those who change history. Vision is the ability to see beyond your present condition. It is the power to look at barren soil and imagine a harvest. It is to stand in an empty room and see a business, to stand in a small classroom and see a movement, to stand in your own struggle and see a future beyond it. Vision is not sight. Sight is the ability to see what is. Vision is the ability to see what can be. And let me tell you, the wealthiest people in this world are not those with the most money. They are those with the clearest vision. But vision alone is not enough, because vision without discipline is just imagination. Many people have dreams. Many people say, one day I will do this. One day I will build that. One day I will change my life. But the difference between dreamers and doers is discipline. Discipline is the daily decision to submit yourself to the process, even when it is hard, even when it is lonely, even when no one claps for you. Discipline is the ability to say no to distractions, no to laziness, no to excuses, because you have already said yes to your vision. Think about it. Every great achievement you admire today was born first in the womb of vision and then delivered by the labor of discipline. The athlete who lifts a trophy does not lift it on the day of the victory. He lifted it every morning he woke before sunrise to train. Every time he refused the comfort that could weaken his strength. The scientist who makes a discovery did not stumble into it by chance. She disciplined her mind to study, to test, to fail, to try again until knowledge surrendered its secrets. The entrepreneur who built an empire did not wake up rich one morning. He followed his vision step by step, denying himself temporary pleasures for long-term impact. Vision gives you direction. Discipline gives you progress. Vision tells you where you are going. Discipline keeps you on the road when it gets difficult. Without vision, you have no destination. Without discipline, you have no journey. Both are needed. Both are non-negotiable. Look at the farmer once again. He does not see just a dry field. He sees a harvest in his mind long before his eyes can see it. That is vision. But then he tills the soil. He plants the seed. He waters day after day, season after season. That is discipline. And in time, what he once saw only in his heart becomes a reality for everyone to see. This is why people who lack vision remain stuck. They live by sight alone. If they cannot see it now, they do not believe it can happen. They measure their future by their present. And this is also why people who lack discipline never finish. They get excited at the beginning. They announce their dreams loudly, but they quit when the work becomes hard. Vision without discipline will frustrate you. Discipline without vision will exhaust you. But vision with discipline will transform you. Some of you are listening right now, and you already have a dream inside of you. You already carry a vision that wakes you at night, that whispers to you when you are alone. But you have delayed it, postponed it, told yourself, maybe tomorrow. You are waiting for perfect conditions, waiting for money, waiting for approval. Let me tell you, the world does not need your excuses. It needs your discipline. Start with what you have. Use what you can. Take one step today, then another tomorrow. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about consistency. Others of you may feel you lack vision. You go to work, you come back home, you live by routine, but not by purpose. Let me tell you, vision is not something you invent. It is something you discover. It is already inside of you. Ask yourself, what breaks my heart? What problem do I feel called to solve? What dream refuses to die inside me? The answer to those questions is your vision calling you. And once you find it, your responsibility is to guard it with discipline. So remember this: money can fade, opportunities can close, but vision and discipline will always open new doors. They are the true secrets of success. My friends, I want you to understand something powerful today. The world we admire, the inventions we use, the movements that shaped history, the victories that inspire us, they were not created by people who were born extraordinary. They were built by ordinary men and women who refused to give up. They were built by perseverance. Perseverance is the bridge between ordinary and extraordinary. It is the force that takes people with no advantages, no wealth, no connections, and makes them into legends. When you look at great figures of history, it is tempting to believe they had something we don't, that they were chosen, that they were destined, that life somehow favored them. But the truth is, most of them were just like you. They had fears, they had struggles, they had moments of weakness. The only difference is that when they fell, they got back up. When the doors closed, they kept knocking. When storms came, they kept walking. Perseverance is what turned their ordinary lives into extraordinary legacies. Think of Abraham Lincoln. He faced failure after failure. He lost elections, lost business, battled depression, but he refused to surrender. Year after year, defeat after defeat, he kept moving forward. And one day, perseverance lifted him from the shadows of rejection to the highest office of leadership. He became one of the most respected presidents in history. Was he extraordinary when he was losing? No, he was ordinary. But perseverance made him extraordinary. Consider Thomas Edison. Thousands of failed experiments, thousands of attempts that produced nothing but frustration. Most people would have quit after 10, maybe 20. But Edison refused to see failure as final. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That mindset of perseverance is what gave us the light bulb, an invention that illuminated the world. Ordinary man, extraordinary perseverance, extraordinary result. Look at Helen Keller, born blind and deaf, with the world telling her what she could never do. Yet she became a writer, a speaker, an advocate who inspired millions. Her story reminds us that perseverance is not about what you have, but what you refuse to give up on. She could have lived in silence and darkness, but she chose to live in determination and purpose. You see, perseverance is not glamorous. It is not celebrated at the moment. Perseverance looks like showing up when you are tired, continuing when you are discouraged, holding on when others let go. It is an ordinary day filled with extraordinary determination. It is the quiet decision no one sees, the private battles you fight, the unseen moments when quitting whispers to you and you whisper back, not today. Ordinary people become extraordinary not because life became easy, but because they kept walking when life was hard. They did not avoid storms. They persevered through storms. They did not wait for perfect conditions. They worked in imperfect ones. And in the end, the world called them extraordinary, but they knew it was simply perseverance. Some of you listening right now are standing on the edge of giving up. You've tried, you've failed, you've waited, and you feel like nothing is changing. But let me remind you, every great story looked impossible in the middle. Every breakthrough looked like a breakdown before it happened. The difference between those who quit and those who make it is perseverance. The ones who quit are forgotten. The ones who persevere are remembered. Perseverance is not about talent. It is not about intelligence. It is about resilience. Talent can give you a head start, but perseverance will take you to the finish line. Intelligence can help you solve problems, but perseverance will help you endure problems. Wealth can open doors, but perseverance will keep you standing when doors are slammed shut. Think about it this way: gold is refined in fire, diamonds are formed under pressure, and champions are made through perseverance. Without fire, without pressure, without resistance, greatness cannot emerge. And that is why ordinary people, people like you, people like me, can rise to extraordinary heights, not because we had the best conditions, but because we chose not to quit in the worst conditions. Every time you choose perseverance, you are writing a new chapter in your story. Every time you rise again, you are proving that ordinary does not define you. Extraordinary is waiting on the other side of perseverance. My friends, let me open your eyes to a truth that society often hides. We live in a world where people measure wealth by the size of a bank account, by the cars they drive, by the houses they live in. But the greatest wealth has never been money. The greatest wealth is an idea. An idea has built every fortune, changed every nation, shaped every generation. Money is a byproduct, but the source of wealth has always been the idea. Think about it. Apple began with an idea in a garage. Facebook started with an idea in a college dorm. Amazon was once an idea in a small room. The billions came later. The impact came later. The change came later. But the seed was always an idea. And here is the truth: you have ideas too. Every human being has been given the power to imagine, to think, to create, to see what does not yet exist. Your ideas are wealth waiting to be uncovered. But wealth by itself is not enough, because an idea without action is wasted treasure. That is why discipline is currency. Discipline is how you spend your wealth of ideas. It is the transaction between your vision and your reality. Without discipline, the best ideas die in notebooks, remain trapped in journals, or locked in the corners of your mind. Discipline is the daily grind, the routine, the sacrifice that turns an invisible thought into a visible result. Look at the musician who carries a song in their heart. Without discipline, the melody never reaches the world. Look at the writer who has a story burning inside. Without discipline, the book remains unwritten. Look at the entrepreneur who dreams of a solution that could change lives. Without discipline, the business never begins. Discipline is the currency you must pay to translate the wealth of your ideas into something tangible. But even discipline is not enough, because the journey of every idea is filled with obstacles, delays, rejections, and failures. And this is where persistence becomes power. Persistence is the ability to push beyond the disappointments, to keep moving when others stop, to keep trying when results are slow, to keep building when no one believes. Persistence is the engine that carries your idea forward, long after excitement has faded. Every extraordinary achievement has followed this pattern. An idea birthed wealth, discipline managed it, and persistence gave it power. Think of Walt Disney. He was fired from a newspaper for lacking creativity. He faced bankruptcy, rejection after rejection, but he held on to an idea of a place where families could dream together. Through discipline, he drew. He planned, he worked. Through persistence, he refused to quit. Today, Disney is not just a company, it is a legacy. Or consider J.K. Rowling, an ordinary woman with an extraordinary imagination. Her manuscript was rejected by multiple publishers, but she held on to her idea, disciplined herself to write, persisted through rejection, and created a series that touched millions across the world. That is the power of an idea married to discipline and persistence. Some of you are rich and don't even know it, because your wealth is not sitting in a bank account. Your wealth is sitting in your mind. You are walking around with solutions, with inventions, with songs, with stories, with businesses inside of you. But until you understand that ideas are wealth, discipline is currency, and persistence is power, that wealth will remain locked inside. An idea is like a seed. It carries everything necessary to create a forest. But a seed will never become a tree without planting. That is discipline. And a tree will never grow strong without surviving storms. That is persistence. The question is not, do you have wealth? The question is, are you willing to pay the price of discipline and endure the test of persistence? When you grasp this, you stop waiting for luck. You stop envying others. You stop chasing quick money. Instead, you begin to cultivate your ideas. You begin to discipline your habits, and you begin to persist through hardship. That is how ordinary people build extraordinary legacies. That is how the poor become rich in more than money. That is how nations are transformed. My friends, I want to tell you a truth that has the power to change your life forever. We live in a world where people are obsessed with investing. They invest in stocks, in real estate, in businesses, in gold, in technology. And while these things have their value, the greatest investment you can ever make is not in the markets, not in property, not in material assets. The greatest investment you can ever make is in yourself. Because here is the truth. Money can be lost, markets can crash, businesses can fail, but the value you place inside yourself can never be taken from you. The skills you develop, the character you build, the wisdom you gain, the vision you cultivate, these are assets no one can steal. You are the only investment guaranteed to yield returns when you commit to growth. Look at the world's most successful people. Before they had wealth, they invested in knowledge. Before they had power, they invested in discipline. Before they had followers, they invested in vision. They did not wait for opportunities to find them. They became the kind of people who could create opportunities. They did not chase wealth. They attracted it by developing themselves into people worthy of handling it. Think of a young student who decides to invest hours into studying, not because anyone is watching, but because she believes knowledge will create doors where none exist. One day, that same student becomes a leader, a doctor, a builder of solutions the world desperately needs. Or think of the man who decides to invest not in luxury, but in learning. He reads, he listens, he grows, and in time, his wisdom opens paths money could never buy. This is why billionaires, leaders, and visionaries all share a secret. They understand that their greatest wealth is not the money in their bank, but the person they are becoming. If you take away their money but leave them with their mind, their discipline, their creativity, their resilience, they will rebuild it again, because they know wealth flows to the person who has developed the capacity to hold it. The tragedy is that too many people neglect this truth. They invest in everything except themselves. They buy things to look wealthy, but fail to grow in ways that would make them wealthy. They chase recognition, but fail to build character. They search for shortcuts, but neglect the discipline that makes success sustainable. They focus on what is external and ignore what is internal. But the truth is, your life will never rise higher than the level of investment you make in yourself. Investing in yourself means sharpening your mind, because your mind is the factory of your future. It means guarding your character, because character is the foundation of trust, and trust is the currency of influence. It means training your habits, because habits shape destiny. It means taking care of your body, because health is the vehicle through which you live your purpose. It means developing resilience, because storms will come, and only those who are strong inside will stand. There are countless stories of people who had nothing, but by investing in themselves, they rose above limitations. Look at Oprah Winfrey, who grew up in poverty and hardship, yet chose to invest in learning, in communication, in self-development. That investment made her one of the most influential voices in the world. Look at Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison. He could not invest in businesses or in property during that time, but he invested in himself, his vision, his patience, his principles. And when the doors of prison opened, he walked out not bitter, but better, ready to lead a nation. Some of you listening today are waiting for someone else to invest in you. You are waiting for a mentor, a sponsor, a friend, a boss to see your potential. But let me tell you something: the world invests in those who first invest in themselves. No one will believe in you if you do not believe in yourself. No one will pour into you if you are not already pouring into yourself. The moment you begin to develop yourself, to discipline yourself, to grow yourself, doors will begin to open, because people are attracted to those who carry value within. So do not waste time comparing yourself to others. Do not waste energy envying what they have. Instead, take responsibility for your growth. Read the book, take the class, wake up early, practice the skill, train your character, stretch your vision, build your discipline. Every small investment you make in yourself compounds over time, and one day the world will call you an overnight success. But you will know it was years of unseen investment that produced visible impact. My friends, we have traveled together through truths that are not theories, but principles that have shaped every life of greatness. We began by breaking the lie that greatness belongs to a chosen few, when in reality it is hidden in every one of us, waiting to be discovered. We learned that vision and discipline are not luxuries, they are the true foundations of success. We saw how ordinary men and women became extraordinary not through luck, but through perseverance that refused to quit. We discovered that ideas are the greatest form of wealth, that discipline is the currency to spend them, and persistence is the power to make them real. And above all, we understood that the greatest investment you will ever make is not in things, not in possessions, but in yourself. Every billionaire, every leader, every innovator, every world changer who walked this earth did not hold secrets beyond your reach. They simply lived by principles that are already within your grasp. The difference between their lives and yours is not a possibility, but a decision. The decision to believe in the greatness within you. The decision to hold on to vision when the world sees nothing. The decision to discipline yourself when others waste time. The decision to persevere when everything tells you to quit. The decision to invest in yourself until you become the person you were created to be. And now, the choice stands before you. You can walk away inspired but unchanged, or you can decide today that this will be the moment you stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you who you are. Greatness is not ahead of you, it is already inside of you. Wealth is not in the hands of others, it is in the ideas within your mind. Power is not locked away in distant places, it is in your persistence, your discipline, your vision, your courage. The world is not waiting for another billionaire. The world is waiting for you to rise, waiting for you to unlock the greatness buried inside, waiting for you to take your ideas seriously, waiting for you to persevere when others give up, waiting for you to invest in yourself so deeply that your very life becomes an answer to someone else's prayer. This is the moment. This is the hour. Not tomorrow, not one day, but today. Because the secret they will never tell you is that you are already enough. Everything you need is already within you. Now, it is your turn to act, your turn to rise, your turn to lead, your turn to live the extraordinary life you were designed for.